We are joined today by Nathan from Next Paperback Hero. Thanks for joining us today, Nathan.
Yeah, thank you, Craig. I appreciate it.
All right. So we're chatting here today because I guess you have late last year, you released a new album, Morning Skies and Heavy Eyes. And off of that, you have a new video that you're releasing Tuesday, today.
That's right. Tuesday, January 25th. Yeah.
Yep. So why don't you give us a little background on yourself since it's your first time on the show? Tell us how you got into formed the Next Paperback Hero, and then we can talk a little bit about your new video for Don't Take My Energy.
Yeah. So Next Paperback Hero came about as primarily a solo, project for myself. My full legal name is Nathan Honore, and that does not appear the way it necessarily sounds. So I found a way to use my initials and create what I view as like a positive message that encapsulates what I'm trying to do, but also is connected to my name. So it's kind of the long and short of how I came up with Next Paperback Hero. And I started using that in 2018 as a way to put out my music, and kind of gives it a way to take on whatever form that I want without restrictions of, whatever genre or style that I might be leaning towards, whether that by song or, if it's going to be by album. I put out a few EPs prior to the record, but the record is the first like full length that I've ever done.
Mm-hmm.
I had it mixed by Ian Olvera and mastered by Justin Perkins at Mystery Room. And yeah, it's kind of like a statement of who I am and what I've been doing, and kind of the first steps and the real first steps in the project.
Were you putting together these songs for Morning Skies and Heavy Eyes with the idea of putting them together as a full-length album? Were they all written kind of in that from that perspective, that they were all going to come together as a cohesive album?
Yes and no. Three or four of them, I think for sure, were written prior to when I was recording, which I started in end of March of 2020. I kind of decided that I'm going to go ahead and do this. Like, doing an album has always been an ambition and something that I've always wanted to do artistically. And it felt like really the right time to do it. So I had about 4 songs completed. I didn't know exactly what it was going to look like, whether it was going to be EP or a full length, but I was hoping that I could pull together a full length. Then the rest of the songs, and then the ones that were previously written, were also edited and kind of reformatted to fit the record. The rest of them were written probably in that first 6 months of pandemic life. So like they all came together, and it kind of all fit this theme of like riding the line of hope and hopelessness that was really pronounced, at least for me, especially in that first 6 months of whether it be quarantine or however your pretty solitary life and the unknown of that time.
Okay. And then, what was it like recording that then during the pandemic? Were you able, you said Ian Olvera, did he record that for you or just mix it?
He was just mixing it. I recorded everything myself.
Okay.
Using I've got a $350 interface, and I used a SM5758 for all of my stuff. I sent it out, tracks to my brother who played trumpet on a couple of tracks, and my friend Nick Zulik, who played some saxophone. I don't know what they used, but those are the only things that I used to record it at home. And then I shipped it off to Ian. So it really allowed for me to take my time and find the sound that made the most sense for what the songs were and how I wanted to present them. Like for Weather the Storm, I think I made probably 20 like complete versions of that before I settled on this is kind of the overall shape of the sound that I want. And then kind of started more seriously recording the other tracks, like with that direction in mind, and going a little left and right of that. But yeah, it was recorded between the end of March 2020 and December, I think, when I wrapped up the final, vocal takes and overdubs.
Okay. Yep. And we're talking to Nathan from Next Paperback Hero, whose new album's out now. It's titled Morning Skies and Heavy Eyes. Is this the first video
Yes.
from the album? So the first video from the album for the song Don't Take My Energy comes out today. You're going to be at Anodyne Coffee on Bruce Street Friday night, celebrating the release of your video, Don't Take My Energy, with a performance with Jorge Anodyne and Anya Elise. It's an 8 p.m. show on the 28th. $8 at the door, $10. I'm sorry, $8 in advance, $10 at the door. So on the song "Don't Take My Energy," you kind of have a full band feel. That's one of the songs that has a full band feel to it. You mentioned you sent out recordings to a couple of other musicians to play along with that. Did you give them any notes, or just kind of as to what you were looking for from them, or how did collaborating over a distance work?
Yeah, this song in particular doesn't have anybody else. It's just, those are just my tracks.
Okay.
The ones that do, the two instrumentalists, my brother and my friend Nick, work in very different ways. Nick is a more of an avant-garde saxophonist who's based out of Chicago. He's very improvisatory. I've tried to record a track with him of one of these songs earlier, probably in late 2019, that never went anywhere, but we were college roommates, so we have kind of a shorthand on how we talk and communicate creatively. And I kind of, gave him the general sense, used some like keywords on, like, he plays on Weather the Storm, for example, and he plays on the bridge. So I would be like, okay, I need something really chaotic to kind of bring together the storm. And then there's this immediate calm that's after. So really ramp it up. And then that's basically the only instruction I would give him.
Okay.
And he sends back these beautiful parts, and same on First Impressions. I think he sent like 7 complete tracks of the entire song, and that's where Ian really really helped organize that and make it into a really lovely collage, and these accents to that song. And my brother AJ, he works completely opposite, where I wrote out the parts for him and said,
Okay.
can you put this together, give him freedom as he wants with like dynamic contrast and things like that. But it's very two different collaboratory things. And Ian eventually put some Juno on one of the tracks as well, and he's like, I've got some ideas, and I said, go for it, man, I totally trust you.
Yeah, excellent. So the video that you have for Don't Take My Energy, you shot that video around Milwaukee and in Watertown.
Yeah.
What was it shows you at several different locations. I think I caught over by the Pritzlav and the Postal Service, and I'm trying to think. I'm gonna forget the other locations I was able to notice here in Milwaukee. But
Yeah.
what was the concept behind that?
Well, I knew I wanted to work with Joe Ludwig for a while. Like his work with like Fuzzy Surf in particular is really caught my eye, and I knew he had just had like that creative spark and passion that I was really looking for in a collaborator. I've been trying to let go of things creatively as time goes, and really let other people's strengths, let them work the way that they do. So I kind of pitched a couple of songs to Joe, and he came back with the concept for the video of trying to put together this loneliness that he was really feeling, this mental health struggle, and eventually kind of breaking that. So for a lot of the video, I'm pretty stoic and looking around, and there's no real other figures in the video other than me, other than maybe some shadows. And it comes together at the town cinema at Watertown, where some of the breakthrough moments happen, and just kind of reclaiming kind of, I guess, the mental health that side of it. So yeah, Joe's concept, I felt really connected with not only what the song was trying to do, but basically the isolation I was feeling while I was recording and writing a lot of the songs for the album. It really connects a lot of the dots.
Okay. And then one thing I caught in the video too is when you're over by the Pritzlav, where the train, the Hiawatha and the train, you caught both two trains going by
Yeah,
as you were shooting. Was that planned, or was that a happy accident?
that was a happy accident. There
Oh,
were a number of things that happened that were we knew approximate times for when the Amtrak was going to go, and
right.
when we were at the airport of
Oh,
Joe had the app of when arrivals and stuff are supposed to be coming in through the radar, and there were a number of times where things didn't quite turn out, but Joe was quick on his feet and was like, okay, I know exactly how I want this to look, even though this isn't how we wanted it to go.
okay.
So the dual train was definitely a happy accident. We were just going for the single Amtrak.
No, and that was pretty cool when there's both the trains going by at the same time. That worked out really well.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, your new video, our first video from your new album, Morning Skies and Heavy Eyes, new album by Next Paperback Hero. Uh, First video is for the song "Don't Take My Energy," which comes out today. You're going to be at Anodyne and Bruce Street this Friday, the 28th, for an 8 p.m. show. $8 in advance, $10 at the door, and performing with Jorge Anodyne and Anya Elise. So where can everybody find your music other than nextpaperbackhero.bandcamp.com?
A good place to go is nextpaperbackhero.com. That'll get you most places, but it's on all the streamers, Bandcamp, like you said, iTunes, Amazon, all the things. Just search Next Paperback Hero. That will get you there. Thankfully,
Okay.
it's a unique term.
Right. Fantastic. Well, thank you for joining us here today. We're going to hear a couple of more songs from Next Paperback Hero off Nathan's new album, Morning Skies and Heavy Eyes.
Thank you.